Hi, I'm Layla, and I'm hoping for the better change in people to make sure that everybody's treated equally and to make sure that everybody's kind to one another, no matter what color they are.
I'm Abby, and I want the world to be fair, and I want everyone to feel included because we're all magical.
Hi, I'm Jerry, and I think you should be kind to all people.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. I want to be treated with kindness and respect wherever I go.
Daddy, Elmo doesn't understand. What's happening? Why are all these people together?
Oh, well, they're gathering together to protest.
Protest? Elmo
Mhm.
doesn't understand. What's a protest?
Oh, a protest is when people come together to show they are upset and disagree about something. They want to make others aware of the problem. Through protesting, people are able to share their feelings and work together to make things better. They make signs like this.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm bringing this sign to the protest at the community center later.
oh. Oh, they look upset. Oh, are the protesters sad?
They are sad and upset, and they have every right to be, Elmo. People are upset because racism is a huge problem in our country.
Racism? What's that?
Oh, racism is when people treat other people unfairly because of the way they look or the color of their skin.
The, the color of their skin? Oh, Elmo doesn't understand, Daddy. Elmo has friends with different types of skin. Oh, and fur, too. Black, brown, pink,
Yeah,
purple.
I know, Elmo, but not all streets are like Sesame Street. I mean, on Sesame Street, we all love and respect one another.
Yeah.
Across the country, people of color, especially in the black community, are being treated unfairly because of how they look, their culture, race, and who they are. What we are seeing is people saying enough is enough. They want to end racism.
No. Elmo wants to end racism too. Elmo
Hmm.
wants everybody to be treated fairly.
Mhm.
What can Elmo do, Daddy? How can Elmo support his friends?
Oh, well, we can start by learning and talking about what is happening and take action. And you know, Elmo, we have some friends that can help.
Oh, it's ringing.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Elmo. Hi, Louie.
Greetings.
Oh,
Hi,
Good to
Elmo.
see you
Hi,
two.
Louie.
Hi.
hi, Mr. Van and Miss Erica. Boy, Elmo's so glad that you're here. Elmo wants to know more about what's happening. How are, how are people being treated unfairly?
That's a great question, Elmo. And, sometimes, somebody who's got brown skin like me, we work just as hard as everybody else, but we get paid less money. And, sometimes a police officer might think somebody's a bad guy just because that person's got dark skin and then doesn't treat them very well at all. Now, that's not all police officers, but it does happen too much. And, it's just not fair.
No, it's not fair, Mr. Van. Oh, you know what? Elmo's gonna make a sign just like his daddy's to show Elmo's
Oh.
love and support.
Oh, that's a great idea, Elmo. I tell you what, while you start making that sign, we'll begin the town hall.
Oh, okay. Elmo will be back later. See you.
They see you. That's awesome. Everybody else, please stick around. Coming Together, Standing Up to Racism, a CNN and Sesame Street town hall is going to start right now. Good morning to all the children and all the families who are watching. I'm Van Jones along with Erica Hill.
Good morning, everyone. Also joining us for this town hall is Big Bird from Sesame Street.
Hi, Van. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Big
Hi,
Bird.
Hi, Big Bird. Welcome to our town hall on standing up to racism.
Oh, that's right. Count me in. We all need to stand up. There we go. That's me standing up to racism. Now, how do we stop it?
Big Bird, well, maybe come down where we can see you.
Yeah,
What?
Big Bird,
Oh,
when we
okay.
say
All right.
when we say standing up, we mean actually coming together to make changes happen. Okay, we all got to just do a better job to ensure that all this unfairness stops. You know, racism has been happening in our country for a very long time.
It has?
Yes, Big Bird, it has. And that's why we're coming together today, so we can learn and talk about it and take action against racism.
Already, I see a positive step. Looks like we got a lot of friends who want to help. Take a look.
How can we stop racism when the civil rights movement was a long time ago and we're still treated unfairly?
What can we do as kids to help racism get better in our country?
How can I help stop racism?
How do I help against racism and stay safe?
That is definitely the big question this morning, and I don't know if we'll get to all the answers today, but we're certainly going to try to make some progress.
And here to help us is a woman who leads one of America's major cities, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. Mayor, what is your message to these kids at home who want to know how they can help to change things?
I am so proud of them, Van. That's the first thing I want to say. And my message to them is just keep being who you are. Keep loving each other. And when you see someone who's doing something wrong or saying something wrong, say that it's wrong. Make sure that when your friends sometimes do things that they shouldn't do, that you say to them, that's not right and you shouldn't do that. And say it with love and just lead by example.
Leading by example and using our voices, so important. Mayor, it's so great to have you with us this morning for this conversation. We have a question next from Sean, who's a 9-year-old from Illinois. Take a listen.
If Black people contributed so much to the development of this country and the world, why are Black people treated so badly?
It's a great question, Mayor.
That is a great question, and it's a question that we've been asking ourselves for generations. And Sean, I don't know if we will ever have the answer to that, but what I know is that just like Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream for his 4 children, that they would be judged by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin, we have to continue to dream and hope and work that this country will live up to that. So some people just don't know any better. Some people say that hurt people. And I think that's what happens when you see Black and brown people being treated unfairly. They're being treated unfairly by people who sometimes are hurting themselves and they may not even know why.
Yeah, very, very true. Look, we have another question. This one's from a mom who lives near Chicago.
When I explained that people are treated differently because of their race, my son simply asked why, and I didn't have a good answer for him that he could understand.
You know, Mayor, at my house, we say people put other people down when they really feel bad about themselves. They're trying to make themselves feel better. But if people really love themselves, they would never need to put anybody else down. What do you think about that, Mayor?
I think you're absolutely right, Van, and that's what I tell my children all of the time. I say you can't treat people the way they treat you. You have to treat people the way you want to be treated. That's what my mother has always told me. And so I try and encourage my children anyway to recognize that when someone is being mean and when they're being hateful, that sometimes they're hurting inside and they don't have any other way to express it. Now, I know that's easier said than done. And I have to remind myself of that a lot because sometimes I get impatient too, but I just keep reminding myself of that. And just sometimes I do something as simple as say a prayer for them. And I even heard my 12-year-old son, Langston, say to me a few days ago that he was in a situation where some kids were being mean and he just prayed for them. So that means that sometimes, even when it doesn't seem like our kids are listening, they actually are.
They certainly are. Big Bird is with us too, as you know, Mayor, and I think he has another question. Big Bird?
My friend has an important question.
How do you respond to a classmate who questions, why is Black Lives Matter necessary? All lives matter, especially when you may be the only Black student in your class or one of very few.
Mayor, this is a question that's coming up a lot these days. How do you answer that question?
These are such great questions. And what I would say, you just have to explain to them that there is a history in this country for Black people in this country that's not like any other race in this country. We are the only race of people who came to this country enslaved. And it's the reason that we have to continue to call on our history and speak our history. And so while we respect people of all colors and all races, that when Black people are still being unfairly targeted very publicly, it's important that we speak that as well.
You know, Mayor, when you bring up Black families being unfairly targeted, we know that families around the country are having a lot of very important, very tough conversations right now. But for parents who are raising children of color, specifically Black children, the talk has long been a part of those conversations. You are a mother of 4. What do you tell your children?
It's difficult. And sometimes for me, my inclination is to talk. But what I've found with my children, sometimes I just simply need to listen and let them feel and let them express their emotions, because I don't have all of the answers. And I'm searching for the answers in the same way that they are. But sometimes it's just important just to listen. But I just constantly remind them of who they are and who they were created to be, and that we've come through so much more. And Erica, you know, I've been thinking a lot about my family's history in America. My grandmother's grandparents were slaves. And I've been thinking about what it must have taken for them to put aside their hurt and anger and humiliation at being enslaved. And the only thing that I can think that it could have been is that they believed there was a better future for their children. And that's what we believe for our children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that hope is carrying a lot of people through, and at least we are having the conversation, and we're beginning to learn how to listen. You know, we've got a question from Courtney, who's in Indiana. Let's hear from her.
I am a 34-year-old Black mother. I have 2 Black sons, 5 and 2, and an amazing Black husband. My children keep asking me, "Mommy, why do you keep crying?" I don't know what to say to them and how to explain this. I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm hurt, I'm not okay. But at the same time, I am so thankful for the many amazing protests I've seen around the world. My question, is it too early to explain to them what is going on? Will it mess up their innocent little minds?
Well, look, you know, I think when something bad happens, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. It just means that we care. But Mayor, what do you think?
I don't think it's too early, because they're seeing it anyway. Our children, at least I can't always control the access to information that my children have. They're getting it on television. They're seeing it on their iPads. And I don't think it's too early to have that conversation. I just think we have to speak it in the context of which they will understand it. But I think it's important for them to see and feel those emotions that we are seeing and feeling, so that they will know it's okay that they are able to express themselves in the same way.
Yeah, I think that's right. And talking about fairness, you know, all kids understand fair versus not fair. So that's a good context to talk about it. Look, Mayor, thank you so much for being here. Love having you.
Thank you for having me.
We have received so many incredible questions from kids all across the country. We want to bring in some more experts to help us answer some of them. Joining us now, Dr. Nia Hurd-Garis, who is the Minority Health, Equity, and Inclusion Chair at the American Academy of Pediatrics, and Big Bird's pal, Dr. Jeanette Betancourt from Sesame Workshop, the nonprofit educational organization behind Sesame Street. Good morning.
So let's go right to some questions. We got so many questions from parents of young kids.
What is the best way to begin this conversation with very young children? Our daughter is nearly 2.
Doctor, what's your advice?
Oh yeah, I really think it's important to talk to kids at 2 or older and start to have this conversation. I think it's important to start with history and start with context. You don't want to get on a pedestal and go through a whole soliloquy about the whole entire history of our country, but you do want to start with people were brought to the United States as workers, as slaves that were unpaid, and that was not fair. And they were treated really poorly. And those people are Black people, people that have come from countries in Africa. And then you can start to build on that conversation to paint to where we are right now and how this has been something that's been going on for years and years and years, centuries. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now.
Our friend Rosita is also here this morning from Sesame Street, and I know she has something for us. Rosita?
Let's take another question.
Why do people have different skin colors?
Dr. Hurd-Garris, why do people have different skin colors?
That's a great question, and thanks for posting it. So people have different skin colors because of a pigment in our skin called melanin. And that melanin, depending on how much or how little you have, changes the color of your skin. So people that lived in hotter areas near the equator have more melanin, so have more of that pigment. And as people get further away from the equator, they have less because they need special vitamins in their body called vitamin D. And sunlight really, really helps that vitamin D get active and ready to go. So people have different skin colors because of the amounts of melanin that they have in their skin.
These kids have amazing questions. Dr. Betancourt, we got one from you. Christina, who is a mom from Rhode Island, she says she's got a 5-year-old daughter who asks if people are walking in the streets with these signs, is it because they're battling the germs that are making people sick? Okay, so kids are trying to understand this stuff. How can we, they want to know, are these people trying to be strong and safe from the virus that's disrupted their lives? How are grown-ups and kids supposed to deal with all this at the same time, Dr. Betancourt?
It's so hard now with parenting. First, we had to describe a pandemic, and now we have to talk about racism. So now is the opportunity to really talk and have honest, simple, but yet realistic conversations. So it is talking about that people are being treated unfairly and even hurt. And it is because of the consequence of the skin color. But what you find is that there are now people standing up and saying, we have to do better, and that no one should be treated poorly because of who they are. And that you're standing together in a way that you're tackling racism, but in a way that is indicating that we learn racism and we now have to avoid that. Most of all is the idea that children and families are taking action together. And this is what we're seeing today.
I want to check in now with Abby Kadabi. Abby?
Our friend has a question.
I want to be a neurosurgeon when I grow up. Can I operate on racist brains to change them?
Oh, Dr. Hurd-Garris, I want to tell Kyle yes, but you are the medical professional here, so I'm going to leave that one to you.
Absolutely. As doctors, and I'm so excited you're going to join us, you operate and you care for everyone, no matter their attitudes. But with that being said, we are working really, really, really hard to change people's hearts and minds and policy so that later on you don't have to operate on racist people's brains. You can operate knowing that everyone is behind you and rooting for you.
Dr. Betancourt, what about a final message for kids and parents about having these hard conversations? We often say in our house, the hard conversations are the most important ones.
They are the hard conversations, and we know that we need to start early. We know that young children, even in infancy, start to recognize the difference between race and identity. So this is an opportunity to talk about those similarities and differences in your everyday moments, to take advantage of the diversity that surrounds you, but to have these conversations early on in a way that sets a foundation, but it lasts for a lifetime of awareness. And it's also the fact that children see and learn from what they see, so that our actions are more important than our words.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Doctors, thank you so much for your very, very great advice. We appreciate you.
Coming up, we're going to talk about inclusion and empathy.
Oh, those are some big words. What do they mean?
Hey, we're going to find out, but first, let's hear from Big Bird Sesame Street neighbors Gordon and Maria. They're going to help us answer this important question.
Nana used to protest in the 1960s. Why we had to do this again and again and again?
That's a good and important question. Like your Nana, I remember the civil rights marches back in the 60s. And here we are again, marching and speaking up for change, just like before.
Unfortunately, this change has taken a very long time. It's frustrating and unbelievable to me that we're still fighting the very same fight and dealing with the very same issues that we dealt with on Sesame Street in 1969. It breaks my heart. No child or grown-up should have to deal with being treated unfairly. We've got to change the course of history now.
That's why people are again protesting and marching and speaking up, so that your Nana, you, and everyone else never has to experience racism again. I've been so inspired by seeing the protests and heartfelt messages that people, young and old, have been sharing. Gives me hope that this time, change will happen.
I have hope too, mucha esperanza, that if we keep on marching and if we keep on speaking up, people will be respected equally. Stay safe.
And make your voices heard.